Operation Doppelkopf. Operation Doppelkopf and the following Operation Cäsar were German counter-offensives on the Eastern Front in the late summer of 1944 in the aftermath of the major Soviet advance in Operation Bagration, with the aim of restoring a coherent front between Army Group North and Army Group Center. The operation's codename was a reference to the German card game Doppelkopf. By the end of July 1944, Soviet mechanist forces had reached the Gulf of Riga following their headlong advance in the Kaunas and Iolyai offensives, part of the third and final pursuit phase of the strategic offensive Operation Bagration. The Soviet 2nd Guards Army had exploited a breach between the German 16th Army of Army Group North and the neighboring 3rd Panzer Army of Army Group Center, and severed the connection between them. German counterattacks failed to restore it, and significant elements of the German armed forces were left isolated. The Oberkommando des Heeres made immediate plans for an offensive to restore the connection between the two army groups. A number of armored formations were assembled under Army Group Center in Courland with orders to attack towards Jelgava, cutting off the Soviet spearheads. The XXXX Panzer Corps, with the 7th and 14th Panzer Divisions, the Grossdeutschland Division and the 1st Infantry Division, was assembled at Lipja/Libo, while the XXXIX Panzer Corps was assembled at Torringen. The operation commenced with an attack by the 7th Panzer Division on August 15 towards Kulm. The main offensive began the following day, but there was strong resistance against the XXXX Panzer Corps from 10 Soviet infantry divisions supported by 3 artillery divisions and anti-tank units. Von Saucken's XXXIX Panzer Corps opened operations on August 18. Its left flank, an ad hoc formation under Hyacinth Graf Strachwitz von Grosszach und Kaminetz, was preceded by a heavy artillery bombardment from the cruiser Prinz Eugen. Forces inside the pocket attacked to link up with Strachwitz's force. Strachwitz reached 16th Army at Tukums by midday. By August 27, the corridor between 3rd Panzer Army and 16th Army had been enlarged to 18 miles in width, though the latter had come under renewed pressure from a fresh Soviet offensive against Riga. The operation had also failed in its more ambitious objectives of retaking Iolyai or of cutting off the 6th Guards Army threatening Riga. A second German spoiling attack was planned to destroy Bagramian's forces in the salient below Riga and push the front out to a straight line between the Sejwold position and Iolyai. The main strike force was the reorganized XXXIX Panzer Corps, 3rd Panzer Army having been placed under the temporary overall control of Army Group North. The attack began on September 16, in response to the Soviet Riga offensive operation, but by September 19 it had ground to a halt in the face of intense Soviet resistance after having penetrated only a few miles. The German forces then assumed a defensive configuration. The Red Army attacked again on October 5, in the Memel offensive operation. 5 days later, they reached the Baltic Sea and finally cut off Army Group North in what eventually became the Courland pocket. The German XXVIII Corps was isolated from the remainder of 3rd Panzer Army in a bridgehead at Memel.